My name is Naoki Otani. I'm from Megagon Labs. I briefly introduce the main idea and key findings from our paper, Do Agents Need to Plan Step by Step? The main question is very simple. When LLM agents use tools, do they really need to call one tool at a time, or can they plan farther ahead? This choice affects the accuracy and cost of your LLM agents. Yeah, before we start, last night I found anaprawliations has podcast generation, and I found that they speak much better than I do. So real question I want to ask is, does this session really need me? And in case you guys like human speaking rather than LLM agent speak, let me continue. And also, important point is 7 minutes presentation, so it's also on time. So we focus on agentic loop, which is a core mechanism behind LLM agents. An agent interacts with environment. For example, the agent calls a search tool, execute it, and then get the results from environment, and then decide what to do next. A key design choice here is the planning horizon. By planning horizon, I mean how far ahead the agent plan ahead before executing any tools. Does it plan only one next action, or does it plan the whole sequence of the actions up front? The common paradigm here today is step-by-step planning. Actually, in this session, previous presentations use a lot of React-style loop, which is basically step-by-step, single-step horizon planning. So in this slide, on the left, we have single-step horizon, or SH. The agent plans one action, execute it, observe the results, and then plans the next action. On the right, we have full horizon planning. The agent generates a whole sequence of actions up front, then execute the plan, and only when something goes wrong, the agent intervenes and replans the later plan. So these planning horizon dictates the timing of monitoring. Does the agent monitor every tool execution, or does it only monitor when something something wrong happens? The common belief here is that SH is more robust because it observes feedback at every step, while FH is considered brittle. But is this always true? We revisit this question in data-centric tasks. By data-centric tasks, I mean tasks where the answers must be constructed from external data sources. Examples include knowledge-based QA and RAG-style QA and text-to-SQL. In this work, we focus on KBQA and RAG QA. And our main question is SH always better than FH in data-centric tasks? To answer this, we perform controlled experiments. We compare SH and FH not only at the dataset level, but also at the instance level for fine-grained comparison. Here's a KBQA example. Question is, which company has more employees, Google or the parent company of Instagram? To solve this, the agent needs to look up Google. It also needs to look up Instagram, its parent company, and then compare their employee counts. So there are two key challenges. First, the agent needs to identify the latent logic of the problem. Second, the agent has to understand the vocabulary of the data sources. We measure and control two key factors to quantify these challenges. One is topological complexity, and two, robustness. So let me explain them. First, topological complexity. We measure the complexity of the latent logic of the problem. So we represent a gold plan as a graph and use very simple two metrics. The first is depth. Depth is the length of critical path, and it tells us how many dependent tool calls must happen in sequence. The second is breadth. It tells us how many branches the plan has. In this example, the depth is 3, and there are 4 cores, so the breadth is 4/3. The key point here is that the complexity is not only about the length or the depth of the plan, but we also need to care about the branching structure, because it governs how many steps the agent has to memorize while working on another branches or steps. The second, to robustness. Even if the plan is logically correct, execution can still fail. For example, the agent may call a relation named parent company, but the knowledge base may use different names like has parent or owned by. So the to call may fail because the input parameters do not exactly match the vocabulary or language used in the data sources. So the agent has to identify what kind of exact labels used in the data sources. So we control this robustness in 2 ways. For KBQA, we control soft schema matching. With soft schema matching, the two can recover from imperfect entity or attribute names. For RAG QA, we control retrieval top K. So when we use a larger top K, the retrieval tool is more tolerant to imprecise such keywords. So we evaluate SH and FH on 2 types of tasks. The first one is a KBQA, as I mentioned. So we use 4 data sets: KQA Pro, Gradle QA, WebQSP, and GraphQ. The agent combines operators like find and relate to answer multi-hop questions over knowledge base. The second is multi-objective Hopo QA. Here, the agent answers multiple Hopo QA questions at once using search and reasoning sub-agents. We test several backbone LLMs, including GPT, QN, and Gemini models. Here's the main results. On the left, we show SH and FH achieve very similar accuracy, but on the right, we see a clear efficiency gap. The graph shows token usage per instance, which indicates basically the cost and the latency of the agent. SH uses much more tokens. In many cases, it uses about 2 to 3 times more tokens. This happens because SH calls the LLM at every step. Each time, it must include the tool definitions and previous conversation log, so a bunch of tokens into the LLM call. So this adds much more token usage compared to FH. FH avoids much of this overhead because it plans multiple tools ahead, so it calls LLM API much fewer times. So the main message is FH matches SH accuracy while using much fewer tokens. So this pattern was observed across different LLM backbones and different levels of complexity and tool robustness. Yeah. So let me skip this detailed error analysis. My poster has this, so please come to my poster, and happy to discuss about detailed results. So the conclusion is SH is not necessary for data-centric tasks, and actually FH is much more efficient. So this has a practical implication. Basically, if your task is well-defined data-centric tasks, bundling multiple tool calls may make your system faster and cheaper. So there are some bunch of open questions for future work, so I'm happy to discuss it in the poster session this afternoon. Thank you.
Right. Let's thank to the speaker. Are there any questions?
Hi, very interesting, thank you. So what do you think the relationship is between topological complexity and the relative token efficiency of full horizon planning? Do you think it's like monotonic, or is there some optimal kind of horizon over which you get gains over planning ahead?
Good question. So basically, the result is there is no real connection between complexity and token usage. So even if the task is very complex in terms of topological complexity, token usage is basically, just it's factor of number of steps, not really, complexity doesn't, matter.
So no gains in token efficiency at all, planning ahead for more complex tasks or decreases?
So comparing FH and
Comparing.
SH, yeah, FH is much more efficient than SH, but the gain is basically same.
And do you think that's going to be true over arbitrarily kind of increasingly complex topologies? No matter how complex the query is, you'll get more gains in token efficiency?
Right, there is no real, difference from complexity. Thank you.